Hey Michael, Coach Kyle here, and I actually did the Brookings Fargo double this last spring, so I'll tell you a little bit about that. And you say, so you have your last marathon of this year next week, and it's the Tucson marathon. So cool. You're hoping to do that in under 5 hours. You've had some training issues that need to be resolved before PRs become a reality. You said you opted for straight running with no cross training, and your arms are in serious need of work. So I'll link you below, kylekranz.com/GSM. That link has a bunch of different, mostly body weight routines, very hip, glute, core centric. There's some arm stuff in there. There's some lifting stuff. There's some plyometrics, but really start with those body weight, general strength, and mobility routines. They're easy to follow along with. Minimal to zero equipment is needed, and myself and most of my clients just do them right before or after a run, straight away as a warm up or a cool down, right with an easy 3 to 5 miler or whatever. And so you're asking, before you attempt a 50 miler, you wanted to challenge yourself to the back-to-back marathons. What kind of training regimen should I take? So basically, after Tucson, take a nice period of rest, take a couple weeks off, some walking, some jogging, a little bit of extra sleep, kind of keep active, but recover. A marathon's a traumatic event for your legs. It's not just another normal run. And then basically after that, you'll have, how many weeks are we to, I'm probably going to do Fargo. Which one? Fargo comes first this year, I think. Is that right? Fargo is May 9th. So this last spring, it was Brookings and Fargo. So this year it's Fargo then Brookings. And I'm probably going to do the same thing too. Where are we? So, we're like 25 weeks out still. 23 weeks out. So basically what I would do is, go to that strength work page, get doing some, especially now or in the next month or so, when your training volume is low, after a marathon, when you take those couple weeks off, you don't have to not run, but just nothing hard. It's a nice opportunity to start things that you have neglected, like strength work. But take a little period of rest, and then you got to have a plan. I don't know anything about your past training, but the number one thing I usually recommend is having some sort of plan and not just winging it. And you can get by with doing a weekly long run and a weekly random workout and a few weekly jogs, but having some sort of long-term progressive plan will almost always be better than not having a plan at all. So you can find a bunch of cookie cutter ones, pre-written ones online or in books. halhigdon.com is a great resource with a number of different marathon plans. Novice 1, 2, advanced. There's dozens of them. So you could check that out and find a 16, maybe a 20-week plan. That might suit you perfectly. In your case, I would really just train for that first marathon. And this is basically what I did. Train for the first marathon. So you're training for Fargo. Take Fargo really nice and easy. So when I did the Fargo Brookings race, I basically jogged. It was a brisk jog, but I basically jogged the first marathon, which was Brookings last year. And that went so well. I felt so great after it that I had like 2 days to decide if I wanted to sign up for Fargo, which I did. And I ran that almost as fast as I ran the first one, Brookings. And that was because I held back during Brookings. I held back during the first marathon because I knew there was a potential I would do a second one. So that would be the most important thing is, train appropriately for it, strength work, some sort of training plan, and then hold back at Fargo, Fargo, it'll be Fargo for you. Hold back at Fargo, nice, easy, really long run. And then that next week, I don't think I ran the week between Fargo and Brookings. I walked, foam rolling, slept in, got some extra sleep, but I really just took it easy. I might have done a jog. I'm not even sure. and then I just went and I did Fargo. So that's how I would, really prioritize activity during the week between them. But you don't have to run. The purpose of that week between them is recovery, rejuvenation, and you can get a little bit of adaptation out of it too if you do it properly, and you can still have a really good second marathon the next weekend. It just having a good second marathon is going to depend on good training for the first one, proper execution of the first one. Take it easy. You don't have to crush it. Recover really well between them, and then run smart for the second one. For that first one, it'll be Fargo for you. Have a nice, easy goal pace in mind. Basically, just whatever you do, maybe your long runs at. If you want to go for a 5-hour marathon, just run 5-hour pace. That's fine. And then don't. You got to be mindful of the nutrition that you have during the race and after the race will affect how well you recover, how well you pace. And don't forget the 6 Ps. Proper pacing prevents piss poor performance. Take it easy for that first marathon, and you can maybe push the second one a little bit if you have some stamina and some if you feel up to it. So that's, without knowing anything about your training, your history, etc. That's just a really rough guideline of how I would at least start thinking about how to go about doing this. And that's basically what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to basically train for the first marathon, and I'm going to do the first one, and I'm not sure if I'm going to sign up for, so I'll do Fargo first, and we'll see if I sign up for Brookings or not. I'm hoping I can do Fargo and then decide. And basically it'll depend on how well I do at Fargo. If I feel like if I run under 3 at Fargo, and it's a best effort type run, I'll probably not do Brookings. But if I get to Fargo and it doesn't really go super well, I'll probably just jog it in, because the goal is to requalify for Boston. So I'll probably just try to go under 3 at Fargo. And if I decide, if I get to mile 20 or something and it's just not going to happen that day, I'll probably jog it in, rest the entire next week, and go to Brookings. In your case, since you're definitely planning on doing Brookings, I would just jog Fargo. Take it super nice and easy. Take your time, because you need to preserve your stamina, your strength for the next weekend. So questions, comments, drop them below. Excited to see what happens. This is a really cool, and it's a smart intermediate goal to do this before your next 50 miler or your first 50 miler. So keep us updated. Any questions, comments, drop them below. And as always, you keep running, I'll keep coaching.